In the fall of 2018, I began a really difficult battle with anxiety and depression in my life, and it just kind of left me feeling stuck and not sure of where to go or what my next steps would be. It got so severe to the point that I ended up moving home to be with my family, and I left my job, and I was just really trying to figure out where to go next in my life. In the midst of this time period, I was scrolling through social media, and I found a post by someone who was an acquaintance of mine that I went to high school with, and he was just talking about the Life Church in a brief post. And so I decided to go look up the Life Church, and I found the nearest location to me, which was Germantown Parkway, and I decided to show up for that service one weekend. And I just remember immediately being drawn into the interactions of the people around me. Something was just very different about the culture, and it just felt inviting, and I just wanted to know more. During that time, when I came for a service at Houston Levy, I knew that I needed to be going up to the altar during ministry time in order to be prayed for. It was just a stirring in my heart, and so I went forward and I found a leader at the side of the stage. And I remember asking her to pray specifically for healing and encouragement for that next step forward for my life. She prayed so boldly and specifically, and it almost felt like she knew that I was sitting in the back and having a difficult time coming forward into what God had for me. And she really encouraged me and prayed for me very specifically that I needed to lean into God and close the gap that I kind of felt between him and myself. And I knew that day that I wanted to make a fresh start. And so in that moment, at the end of the service, I raised my hand and I took that step forward. And a lot changed for me in that time, because I knew that if I kept entering God's house and into God's presence, that was going to have an impact on my life. And even though I was still battling anxiety and depression, and that was really hard, every time I showed back up in the church again and again, it just kept making a change on my life and kept enabling me to take that step forward. And since that time, I've been able to continue to participate in my life group, which has really given me encouraging relationships. I have been able to do life leadership foundations and serve in kids' life. And this community has just continuously helped me to move forward and make healthy choices that have really just strengthened my life. And I've just noticed all of these changes that were enabled in the moment that I invited God's presence, and He has given me the strength to continue to step forward. And thanks to the Life Church and the community that's here, it's also given me access and knowledge into God's presence and how to continue drawing closer to it in my life.